The Hidden Heroes of the Night, Nocturnal Pollinators in California's Native Gardens. One of my funniest stories from the garden happens to be at night. I was out on my yoga mat, laying out in the garden, watching the stars, and suddenly I heard something sort of over near my fountain. I sat up really quickly and came face to face with one of my local opossums, and it froze mid-drink. The light from my kitchen door was perfectly spotlighting it, and then I froze as it happened to be between me and the warm safety of my house. So I was cornered, it was cornered. We both just sat there, sort of terrified, looking at each other, not moving, hearts racing. And finally, it sort of calmed down enough to slowly turn away and take some very slow steps away. And then it bolted into the darkness. I immediately picked up my yoga mat and everything and bolted on into the light and warmth of the house. But I always remember that as this sort of really interesting experience because both me and that possum were having the same sort of like, oh, I thought I was alone out here. And just a fun little fact about possums. They are one of my favorite nocturnal critters that visits the garden because they feast on fleas and ticks and other insects. So they keep my garden safe for me and my other furry friends. So possums are actually really great companions to have out in the garden at night. So oftentimes we design our gardens for pollinators and wildlife and creating a safe haven for our pets. But rarely do we sort of focus in on the nocturnal pollinators and wildlife and, keeping our gardens safe for our pets at night. So I pulled up this wonderful article on nighttime pollinators that shines a light, forgive the pun, on the integral part that they play in our ecosystem. So when the sun sets and the daytime pollinators retire, a whole new cast of characters emerge to play their part in maintaining the health of our gardens. Nocturnal pollinators, such as moths, bats, and certain beetles, are vital to the ecosystems of California's native landscapes. These creatures ensure that many native plants continue to thrive, making it indispensable for gardeners looking to create a truly sustainable environment. Let's deep dive into the fascinating world of nighttime pollinators and their role in our native landscapes. So, moths are the night shift's butterflies. Moths are crucial pollinators that many night-blooming plants like evening primrose and moonflower need to be able to continue growing. So these plants have evolved to emit strong scents, which is why night-blooming jasmine smells so good, and of course the tuberose. And they usually have pale colors, which attracts moths in the dark. Bats are a wonderful pollinator and pest control. So certain species of bats, such as those that pollinate the dragon fruit, are also exceptional at controlling insect populations. A single bat can eat over 1,000 insects in one night. So just think about how many mosquitoes those bats can be eaten. So they are a really valuable ally in the garden. And just as a side note, I know we've talked a lot about lighting in the garden, but light pollution does disrupt natural rhythms. So do be conscious about how you light your outdoor areas, whether you have them on a timer so that they go off after a certain amount of time, or you only turn them on when you're outside using the garden. Excessive artificial lighting can disorient nocturnal pollinators and disrupt their natural behaviors. So choose low voltage lighting and minimize the amount of light that you have out in the garden when you don't need it. So hopefully that brings the world of nighttime pollinators to your awareness. And we hope to continue to bring you some information that you may not have known about your own garden. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.